this vlog, I wanted to do like a video recapping my past year of riding. Things I learned, mistakes I made, things I would have done differently. So I guess I'll start with, in the past year of riding, I had a low side on my bike around maybe going 10 to 15 miles an hour, I believe it was. It was on Christmas Eve actually. And I had just woken up and wasn't smart enough to brew my own coffee yet, so I was on the way to Starbucks. And when I haven't had my coffee, I'm not quite working the way I should be in my head. So I was not very awake, not very happy, not very alert, and I hopped on my bike and took the same right turn that I take every day. And I don't know what got into me, but for some reason I decided, oh, let's lean super aggressive. And keep in mind, I'd been riding for a grand total of 1 to 2 minutes. So my tires were Road Pilot 4s, I think, so very like hard compound. And so they don't grip very good when they're cold. They're not like other tires with a softer compound maybe. And so I'm taking a right-hand turn on a green light, and just fucking way too aggressive for whatever reason. I just wasn't thinking. And by the time I had that oh shit moment, I really fucked up. That feeling where you can feel your pulse in your butthole and your heart just sinks inside of you. By the time I had that feeling, my bike was already sliding across 3 lanes of traffic, and I was just sitting there watching, and it happened in like slow motion. Just seeing my brand new bike, 3 months old, just sliding, no frame sliders, nothing like that, just on the plastics, just sliding across 3 lanes of traffic. When I got up, I myself was sliding in my sweatshirt. God damn it, I took the wrong exit. Alright, we're going on an adventure. And when I got up, I was in the slow lane and my bike was in the fast lane, and that really sucked. And I had some really minor road rash on my right elbow, and that's it really, just a scrape. I was wearing my favorite sweatshirt, my Alpine Star sweatshirt, so I'm glad that one was okay. Oh man, maybe I made the right choice. And the sweatshirt was fine. I just had a little bit of rash on my arm, but I was okay. And so when I was walking back to get my bike, traffic was stopping for me, except for this one lady who almost fucking ran me over, god damn it. Like, she just fucking watches a motorcycle slide across 3 lanes of traffic, and she fucking comes from a dead stop and then tries to run my ass over. So I didn't understand that, so I almost got hit just trying to get back to my bike when everyone else was stopping. She decided that waiting 2 seconds for me to walk out of the lane wasn't enough, so she almost ran me over. Bike to my damage, I overreacted for sure right off the bat. I thought my bike was fucked. The right brake pedal was bent. I had scrapes on my right fairing. Right mirror had some very minor scrapes. I actually had bar end sliders on. I had everything but frame sliders. Bar end sliders were scraped. Right brake lever was scraped. When I had the stock exhaust, the fucking black cover for it, that was scraped too. But as time went on, I realized I actually got really lucky, and the bike really wasn't that fucked up until I hit that cat, obviously, which I haven't fixed either. But from a distance, you really can't see it. It's obvious when you get close, but it definitely could have been worse. But everyone was asking me like, oh my god, are you okay? I'm like, dude, fuck me, look at my bike, it's fucking laying on its side. And they didn't seem to understand that, but I wasn't really concerned about me at the time. I was still kind of in shock that I actually fucked up my bike. I didn't even know the right word for that emotion, because I was stupid enough to buy a new bike, and everyone knows that you're gonna crash eventually. Like, that's just part of being a rider. And it taught me a lesson for sure. Don't get aggressive on cold tires. You gotta warm them up. And you fucking bet your ass I don't ever do stupid shit when my tires are cold, and never have since then. That one hurt, but it was necessary for sure. So that was a big lesson for me, and that's one that could save, because those fairings are fucking, goddamn, they're like $360 just for one side. So I haven't fixed it yet because it wasn't that bad. Now I actually really need to fix it. So that's an important lesson, is knowing the capabilities of your bike, knowing the capabilities of you as a rider, and really not exceeding any of those. And when you get down to it, your bike's always going to be better than you, especially if you're on a modern sport bike. Like, there's no way that you are fucking a better rider than the bike is a performer. There's just no way. So always keep that mentality, keep yourself in check, that you really have to respect the bike always, and it'll remind you. You don't get a lot of second chances on a motorcycle is another thing too. So that's one thing you want to focus on, is just not dying, really. You got to practice all your basic maneuvers in a parking lot, because if you fuck up, at least you probably won't get run over. The two most important things, and the first one's the hardest for sure, is U-turning and braking. If you are a new motorcycle rider, U-turning is the most uncomfortable feeling ever. These bikes, especially these sport bikes, are made to go fast, really, really fucking fast. Not a lot of emphasis is put on to under 10-mile-an-hour maneuvers, because let's be honest, they never really get used like that on a racetrack. These are race replica bikes intended for racetrack use, but modified to be legally used on a street. The handlebars are very low and they're tilted, so low-speed maneuvers are hard. If you ever sit on a bike that's more upright and has more perpendicular handlebars that are kind of flattened up here, you'll notice that counter steering is very touchy, but when you're down at the low speed, like city maneuvering stuff, it's a fucking breeze. So make sure you have U-turning down. That's something you're really, really going to need to practice. And then emergency braking, because honestly, if you haven't taken the Motorcycle Safety Foundation course, don't be fucking stupid. Go take it, please, for your own sake, so you don't die, so you can ride every day and not be dead within the first month. But anyways, one of the maneuvers they teach you there is emergency braking, but they really put emphasis on brake, swerve, brake. And the whole idea behind that is to reduce as much as your speed as you can by using both the front and rear brake. And you have to know the limits of both of them and how to apply them simultaneously. And then once you reduce as much speed as you can, you need to swerve and then brake again. So the idea is, instead of just slamming on your brakes and locking it up and going into a straight line and hitting a car that might suddenly stop, like in a situation like this, I can brake, swerve over to the next lane, and then brake again if the rest of traffic has stopped. So it's super important, and little stuff like that you probably won't put together yourself, but it seems like silly information at first. It'll save your life for sure. So when you're a new rider, spend the first period of your riding career really just learning how your bike reacts to everything, and do it in small increments. Don't try and do things too quickly. Take it slow. That's the way, just like if you play guitar or a musical instrument, you can't do those fucking blazing fast solos without breaking it down into small chunks and repeating it over and 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 over, and you get the point. But repeating it over and over again. And you start slowly and then you build your way up. And you really don't go faster till you can play the slow part perfectly every time. And then you kick the tempo up a little bit. And then you kick the tempo up a little bit. But you never progress until you have the first level complete. So the same idea kind of goes with riding a motorcycle. And you can apply it to wheelies also. When you're learning wheelies, you don't just fucking pull, I hope you don't, but you don't just pull in the clutch and give it a handful of gas and see what happens. Like, you start with little bunny hops, learning how the suspension interacts, learning how your body positioning helps, and you do little power-up wheelies or what the fuck ever, and then eventually you learn to do little bunny hops with your clutch, and then eventually you learn to pop up the wheel to a high level, and then eventually you learn how to ride them out a little bit. But you don't just pop up a wheelie and go. You take it in small little steps. When I first learned how to take turns and lean, I would pick a set speed and I'd go on the same interchange before where the 168 or the 180 turns into the 168, and where the 41 turns into whatever, it doesn't matter. It's just a curvy road. And so I started off at 65 miles an hour, 75 miles an hour. No, just kidding, I never went over the speed limit, but I had a dream one time that I did. And in that dream, I started off at 65 miles an hour, then did 70, then 75, then 80, and gradually did it faster. And it really taught me how your lean and your throttle work together and how they're related. You can learn them independently of each other, and that's great. But in order to turn smoothly, you want to hold a steady hand and a steady lean. And you're not going to hit that sweet spot right off the bat. You have to work at it. But it's a really rewarding feeling when you find it. But the point being is you don't just fly into the turn at 100 miles an hour. You start off at 60 and you work your way up. Same thing with emergency braking. You don't just grab a fistful of brake right off the bat and then just go, well, let's see what happens when I do this. You start off with a little brake, give it a little more brake. I really don't think I need to repeat myself, but I will. And then you give it some more brake after that. And then after you give it more brake than you previously have, that's how you learn. The only times I've really ever had close calls is most of the time when I'm doing something I shouldn't be doing. There's only one very, very close call I've had when I was riding the speed limit. It was the one day out of summer I wasn't wearing my jacket, go figure. And I was doing 35 into 35, and this old man takes a left turn in front of me. He was like 90 plus fucking years old, and he reacted super slowly. But he just froze up, and he stopped. But for a fraction of a second, I had already accepted that I was going to hit him. I saw where he was, I saw how fast I was going, I saw how I was decelerating, I saw the rate, I deemed it not enough, and I kind of just figured in my head, this is it. This is where I'm going to get hit and T-bone a car and fly over, and I'm not wearing gear, and I'm going to get fucked up and probably break an arm and get some road rash and blah 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 blah, and all this bad shit's going to happen. I only missed his car by about 6 inches, but any less than that and I would have needed another pair of boxers for sure. That was fucking close. But every other close call I've had has been, man, this fucking bus is tall. It's scaring the fuck out of me. Getting a little claustrophobic. Every other close call that I've had, there's been something that I could have done differently. Unfortunately, I think it's a pretty common mentality for people to get that us versus them mentality, like biker versus cager, and I could see where they're coming from to an extent, but you know, people are humans, people make mistakes, and sometimes people are going to switch lanes without looking their blind spot. I'm not okay with it, but it's realistically going to happen. And when you got a motorcycle, you knew those risks were involved, whether you like it or not. So it's one of those things that you should kind of take it as it comes and not get too worked up about it. I mean, I understand reacting in the moment, but there's almost always a lesson to be learned in every close call I've had. The first close call I had was my first week of riding. I think it was day 4 or day 5. And sorry, I feel like I have to focus right now. It's getting intense.
A few moments later.
Anyway, so I was going to Clawson. Okay. I just don't really understand what he was trying to accomplish. Or him. I was going to Clawson, and if you've ever been on Sierra Avenue, in between Blackstone and Fresno, you know that during the daytime, it's a bunch of businesses are crammed in like little mini alleyways. So you have a bunch of businesses on one street, and you have all kinds of cars coming and going. and most of them are trying to take left turns against traffic. And so I'm heading eastbound, and there's a car facing northbound trying to turn left, which would be westbound. And it was some old man, and he didn't look left at all. He looked right and then proceeded to turn left. And guess who was about 4 days into riding a motorcycle, had no idea how to emergency brake, had no idea how to react accordingly, had no idea how to look ahead. I mean, I did, but I just wasn't doing it because I was so just soaking in just everything about it. Just when you get a motorcycle for your first time, your first week is like a dream. Like, it just doesn't hit you. Like, just how much fun it is, how different it is, how different the lifestyle is. Like, you're still just absorbing it all. And I was too, and unfortunately I wasn't paying attention. And same thing, it was an old man. He was a little younger this time, probably 70 plus. Here I am fucking blabbing away and not braking. Okay, shit's gonna get real right now, so I might have to pay attention. Might be an accident or something. People are going way too goddamn fast.
A few moments later.
Anyways, and I didn't know how to brake, so I panicked and I locked it up, and I lost the rear tire. I lost traction, and I was fishtailing as I was braking towards him. And that was another that sucked, because I knew motorcycles were dangerous. I knew that, but I didn't realize I'd have my first close call right off the bat when I didn't really know how to ride. And that's how life is. It's unpredictable, and you really can't. You can try your best to reduce all the risks, but at the end of the day, it's ultimately out of your hands. You just have to do the most you can on your side. Man, this is fucking gnarly. These fucking semis are scaring the piss out of me. I haven't had the lane split like this in a while. Oh man, this totally threw off my whole vlog. I'm over here just fucking paying attention to my life and shit, trying to make sure I don't die. Sorry about it. This road fucking sucks cock too. It's just really a series of unfortunate events we have unfolding here. Yeah, so I might just have to leave that vlog at that. Yeah, I bet you I'm gonna get pulled over right now.